Hello, hello, hello. So, if you follow my Instagram stories, you know I had said I was going to go live today, but I was waiting until I could pull it together. And Amaya left, so oh my gosh, what a day. So today is the 2-year anniversary of my mental emotional breakdown. And you know, last year I didn't get to share this testimony. Last year I was off of social media because of the divorce. I wasn't allowed to be on social media. And so I remember last year it was the 1-year anniversary. You know, I was 1 year out from it, and I was so just heartbroken last year that I couldn't tell the story, that I couldn't celebrate that day. And so today I wanted to make sure that I acknowledge it and celebrate it. I'm gonna move my phone. I'm live on Instagram and on Facebook. So I have my box of Kleenex right here because I will cry. I've been basically bawling all day. Thank you, my makeup looks, girl, it's a filter. No eye makeup on right now because, again, the tears. Seriously. My workout this morning, legit, not even lying, it was booty day. I cried through the entire thing. Like happy tears. Like, if you see me crying, it is happy tears, because when I look back 2 years ago and look at who I am now, like, it's night and day. It's not even the same person. And I want to tell this story because I know that there are so many people out there that need to hear it, that maybe haven't heard it. You know, I've kind of like talked about it like in my written out posts and stuff, but I don't know if I've ever actually made a video about it. And I wanted to make a video so that I could keep it and share it, you know, to come for months and months through years or whatever to come. So 2 years ago, and I apologize, I will trying not to look at the comments right now. I'll go back and acknowledge them at the end, so I don't get distracted. 2 years ago, I had Amaya. She's our 4th and last child. You know, my husband and I were still married. She was, gosh, that was December, so she was almost 6 months, like I guess had just turned 5 months. And basically after I had her, I was so sick. I just did not know it. It wasn't until this breakdown happened that I, you know, was diagnosed with postpartum depression, like severe postpartum depression. You know, it almost took my life. I was, you know, on the outside, everything was so great. You know, my husband's business had taken off just like crazy. It felt like overnight when I got pregnant with her, or I found out I was pregnant with her in October 2015. And ironically, that was the same time that business just exploded. And that is also when our marriage kind of started going to the crap. I will say, when success comes, you know, it's not the success that is bad. You know, just like when you're planting, I heard this analogy and loved it, so I'll share it. You know, when you plant strawberries in your yard or any other thing, what comes up with the strawberries most of the time? Weeds, right? Weeds are always in your grass. And as you're watering and taking care of those seeds that are in the ground, you're bringing up the good stuff, but you're also bringing up the weeds. You're also bringing up, you know, everything that was under the surface, good and bad. And if you're not careful and you're not aware of it, then those weeds will overtake the crop and ruin it. And so I feel like that's a pretty good analogy of what happened, just marriage-wise. So fast forward, you know, we go through 2015. I have Amaya, May 2016. Business still great, marriage crap, to put it lightly. I've always dealt with hormone issues. You know, I have hypothyroidism. In the past, back in, I think it was 2013-ish, I was actually on hormone replacement therapy, battled that for a while, got off of it, and was good. You know, I was stable for a really long time. Have Amaya, and basically 2 years ago today, I had, it just, everything came to a head. And I, you know, had struggled with depression for several months, you know, prior to this. I didn't know what was going on, you know. I knew that my marriage was going to the crapper and I couldn't figure out why. And I was so depressed, and it was like, my life is, you know, perfect. Like, why am I so depressed and unhappy? And of course that just added to the marriage trouble, because again, like, everyone sees our life and just thought it was perfect. But everything just kind of came to a head the weekend of December 3rd. December 3rd was on a Saturday. I, you know, spent that, and actually really it started Friday, but Saturday and Sunday are the days that basically I almost lost my life. Saturday, Josh, or my ex-husband, had taken, oops, not supposed to say his name. He had taken the kids to go run some errands, and I was at home alone, which in retrospect was a really poor decision, and I can look back now and see where God totally protected me. But I had thankfully actually already made an appointment with a new doctor for that following Thursday. Thank God, like, seriously, thank God. I can look back now and see where God just, all the little things that he did to intervene. But I was at home and I was literally curled up, bawling my eyes out, just trying to resist the urge to kill myself. Everything in me, everything, it took everything to not take my life that day. I had, you know, access to pills that I could have taken. I was trying to think of the most, the easiest way to take my life, that my kids wouldn't be too scarred, you know, if they happen to see me. Like, it was nuts. But in my spirit, on the inside, I knew it was just the enemy. I knew it wasn't really me. I knew something was wrong, even though I was being told that I was crazy, like, legit, like, I was being told I was crazy, and I had no reason to feel the way that I felt, which only dug my hole a little deeper. But I remember I pulled out my journal last night, actually, to kind of look back on this, and I remember sitting up in bed and writing in my journal, because I was crying too hard. I couldn't speak. I couldn't pray. I couldn't do anything, you know. And I wrote out in my journal, just in all caps, that my kids needed me. Your kids need you. You have to keep fighting. You have to keep fighting. Your kids need you. And I mean, I took up like 2 pages of just like, in essence, like what I would tell someone else if, you know, they were in that situation. I even, you know, texted my husband, and I'm like, I'm scared, like, if I can't keep fighting, I need you, you know, basically like a suicide note to my husband, pretty much. You know, I made him promise me that he wouldn't let the kids find me. Like, it was bad. It was really, really bad. I knew that I needed to just go to sleep or something. So, I took some leftover Percocet that I had from having her. I took that so I could go to sleep and hopefully sleep it off. Long story short, Josh, my ex-husband, and the kids came home. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not supposed to say his name. So they came home, you know, whatever else happened that night. They had actually went out and got me a bunch of gifts and stuff. Actually, the sign that you see in my living room in the back of my workouts, that's one that they got me, which is pretty cool. I keep it there. The next day, again, like I found myself in the closet, curled up in a ball, just bawling and trying not to kill myself. Like my closet was kind of my safe spot and in the house where there wasn't anything in there that I could use. And so I locked myself in there and just held on tight, you know what I mean? My husband ended up finding me. He got down on the floor with me and just held me and prayed with me. And it was the one thing during that whole process where he was supportive, and he was a good husband in that moment, and I am forever going to be grateful for that. I believe that God used that, you know, to kind of break that hold, you know, momentarily at least, off of my life, where I could kind of pull it together long enough to make it through. Unfortunately, that weekend was also the weekend that he decided to leave. He didn't actually end up moving out until 4 months later, but that was kind of his last straw, seeing me like that. So anyways, that, like I said, I had already made a doctor appointment, thankfully, for that coming Thursday. And come to find out, my hormones, like, there are no words. They were jacked, like straight up jacked. So messed up. It turned out that I wasn't crazy like I was told. I was just very, very, very sick. And so, anyway, I got on meds, but that was, I can look back now and be thankful that it happened, because God ended up using that pain and using that experience to pull me under his wings, to pull me close. You know, sometimes we go through life and we're like, God, why am I going through this? Why are you allowing this pain? But so many times when you're removed from it, you can look back and see where he actually used that to maybe save your life in so many ways. And for me, it was like that. Oh gosh. I told you I would cry. But they're happy tears. They really are. It's just the weight of God's goodness. Like, really. Like, so anyways, I got on meds. I also suffered from panic attacks during that time, that my hormones were so jacked. And I would have panic attacks. The last panic attack that I remember having, it was actually my husband's birthday. We were out to dinner. Not a good birthday. It's funny because if you look at his post about it, like, it was like, looked like it was such an amazing time. It was not. I spent the entire dinner having a panic attack, basically. I spent the entire dinner on my phone looking up scriptures on peace and just trying to fight through it, and quoting those scriptures under my breath while he's next to me eating and probably really annoyed. So if you do suffer from panic attacks, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you have scriptures on peace that you can refer to during those panic attacks. Like, that's the only way I really made it through. And the panic attack, it broke it. The peace of God, man, you don't understand it. Like, it goes beyond all understanding. So, you know, if you've ever been on meds like that, it takes a while for them to kick in. So it was, you know, a couple of months. But during that time, like, me having that breakdown, and getting on the meds, and meds are not for everyone, like, I get it. but it allowed it allowed me to have clarity of mind and heart enough to to pursue him again. And it was my rock bottom moment. Truly, it was my rock bottom moment. It was where God came in, and that's really, that 2 years ago today is when the restoration process of my life began, where God took, and he over the next 4 months, December, January, February, March, and then April, when my husband moved out and actually left, it was in mid-May when he actually decided that he was gone for good. But when that happened, I was so rooted and grounded and had such a solid foundation in who God said that I am, that when he left, it didn't, of course, it was the most painful thing I've ever been through in my life, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, truly. But I knew that it wasn't about me. It takes, I heard Lisa Turkhurst in her testimony of her marriage, talking about, she mentioned that it takes a really, really broken, hurting person to do, what her husband did, what my husband did. And so there's that compassion there. I knew it wasn't about me. When, if it had happened in December or even before that, I would almost guarantee I'd be dead. Like, it would have wrecked me completely. But because I had already gone through that breakdown and had that, that experience 2 years ago today, when the hardest thing of my life ever happened, to me, I was able to be in a place of complete just peace and comfort in the Father's arms. And so it took probably, I'm still now 2 years later, if you follow me, you know that I still deal with a lot of health issues. I do not suffer from postpartum depression anymore. I don't suffer from that depression that I did before. God completely set me free. And now I can tell my story to other ladies, people that follow me. Yes, I'm a health and fitness coach, and that is the avenue that I choose. That's the avenue that God has put in front of me. And that's the avenue even that he brought, so much healing to me, just my heart. There's 3 different places where I hear from God the most: when I'm driving, when I'm in the shower, and when I'm working out. Like, those are the 3 times where God speaks to me the most. And it's kind of funny. It's like I'll end up crying my way through my workout sometimes, just because God is talking to me, or just loving on me like he did today, What was I saying? I don't even remember. I totally lost my train of thought. But anyway, that's the avenue that I use. But my ultimate goal is restoration in people's lives. Spirit, soul, and body. That's my mission statement. Restoring lives, spirit, soul, and body. It is a full picture. It's not just health. It's not just, losing weight. It's not just getting fit. It's not even just correcting your mindset. It's not just having a relationship with God. It's all of it. Like, God wants to use all of it to completely transform and restore your life. And what I love about God is that he doesn't, the definition of restore is to bring back to something's original state. But when God restores, he multiplies. He doesn't just bring you back to the way you were before. He multiplies it. You're always restored better than you were before. Your life is restored better. It's never the same. And I can 100% testify to that. I might be a single divorced mom right now, but I don't suffer from depression anymore. I don't suffer from a poor self-esteem. You know, I know who God made me to be. I know who God is. And I get to share that with all of you guys, you know, my clients and my friends and my family, and they get to see God. My prayer is that people see God when they look at me, that they see his love and his goodness and his mercy and his grace when they look at my life. Like, ultimately, that's my goal, is to always point people to Jesus. And so anyways, I'm still, like I said, working on health issues. You know, I'm back on hormone replacement therapy. I've been on it for 2 years. I still, you know, take those meds that she gave me 2 years ago. You know, going through the divorce brought out a lot of physical issues, almost kind of like what I mentioned about the strawberry analogy or the planting analogy. You know, it just going through that divorce brought up, you know, all of the, digestive and stomach issues and whatnot. So I'm currently still working on, you know, having complete and total restoration in my physical body. You know, I don't know if I'll ever be completely and totally restored. I don't think you can ever arrive, you know, with God. Like, you're always growing, you're always learning. But I could say, like, my mindset is so far beyond what it ever was. Emotionally and spiritually, I'm in a place I never dreamed that I could be, and just in that confidence of being able to get on a live video and tell my story like this. Like, that never would have happened 2 years ago. Like, not in a million years. So, you know, but I'm still working on the physical restoration, and now that I know what the problems are, you know, I'm focused on that. I'm working on it. It's kind of gross to talk about, but you know, it is what it is. And I believe God will complete that healing, restoring, in my body. So that's pretty much it. But I want to, you know, like I said, I wanted to get on here and tell the story and acknowledge this day as a good day. Even though something horrible happened on this day 2 years ago, out of the ashes came beauty. And so for that, I'm like ridiculously thankful. Like, tears today, like I basically cried all day. It's all because of just the weight of what God has done in my life and how good he is. Like, it is mind-blowing. So anyways, if you know, I just want to encourage you that whatever, just stop crying. Whatever you're going through, whatever the ashes are in your own life, God can take those ashes. You know, I love also what Lisa Tierkirst, I don't know, is that how you say her last name? I don't know. I feel like I butcher it every time. God so many times uses ashes, like, to build something beautiful. You know, he made man out of ashes, out of the dust of the earth. You know, he created human beings. Like, and so, you know, the ashes of your life, if you put it in his hands, he will restore. He will build something beautiful out of it. So I just want to encourage you, don't give up on him. Whatever it is that's going on in your life, he's not giving up on you. And what he did for me, he'll do for you. I'm not anyone like super duper special. Like, I'm just a normal mom who doesn't like attention. That God is like, hey, get on a live video and tell, you know, people about me. But he can do what he's done in my life, he can do in your life. You just have to allow him to, and, you know, say, God, here I am, here's my mess, come and heal me, come and build something beautiful out of it. And he will. So anyways, I am always here. You are not alone in this journey. My door is always open, my messenger, my email, if you have my phone number, my DMs, whatever. I'm always here to help you, to encourage, to pray for you, whatever. So anyways, that's it. I'm going to get off of here and stop rambling. I'm sure this video is 5,000 years long. So anyways, I hope y'all have an amazing Monday, and yeah, go kill it.